Welcome to TG Retro Gamers, episode 18 now?
18!
Last week we looked at Super Mario Bros. On the NES, which is a fantastic game. Sticking around that era, going back to the Sega Master System. That was released in 1985, but we're playing the 1990 version, Master System 2.
The cheap version?
The cheap version, yes.
The cheaper version.
They did a redesign of it after the Genesis came out. A little bit bolder, and as Forbes says, a little cheaper as well. I did prefer the first Master Systems, the Mark 1, 2 and 3.
Oh, did you really?
They're very 80s and retro to me, you know?
Okay, yeah, with the card slot on them, yeah.
Yeah, and that little laser gun.
The light phaser.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's it. Superseded by the Menacer for the Mega Drive.
You got some information for me about this game, mate?
Right, okay, as Michael said, we're looking at Alex Kidd in Miracle World today. A game which was one of two games that you could have built into your Master System. I feel the need to say that I'm frog fighting Forbes London for this episode.
I'm in a Miracle World, Michael Langer here.
So yeah, one of two games built into your Master System. You had the options of either Sonic the Hedgehog, if you were lucky, or even if you're more lucky, you'd have Alex Kidd in Miracle World built into it. I think it's an absolutely fantastic game.
Yeah.
Now, this was a direct competitor for Mario, as many people will remember it. Now, in some respects, actually, it's got it's more in depth than at least the very first Super Mario Bros. Game, which we covered last week, as Michael said there. I feel that Alex Kidd was maybe a little more accomplished in what it was trying to do. It was trying to go in a very different direction to Mario Bros. For example, we can see on the demo screen here that we've got an underwater section. You had the bit with the gyrocopter vehicles involved in it as well.
Yeah,
Which,
you got the bike, you got the boats.
yeah.
Yeah, which I quite like. It's not just jumping and moving across. It's getting vehicles involved.
Boats and holes. So yeah, the one thing that's worth noting about this game versus Mario is how crushingly difficult this game is. It's actually very, very difficult to progress to the end of the game. It doesn't want you to. It really doesn't want you to. It doesn't want you to progress. It wants you to maybe stick with the first couple of levels and actually fill, and you just buy yourself a new cartridge. However, it is pretty good to have a game built into the console, which was relatively unheard of back in those days, especially for home consoles. Now, home computers, you'd have various different applications that might be built into them, but the console era hadn't really cottoned on to that, so Sega putting a game built into the Master System itself, I think was touch of genius.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It really was. It's certainly better than Hang On that was built into the Master System.
If they're going to do a redesign of an older console, as well as how the Genesis come out, then it's only fair that they're going to have some games built into it. So I think it's only right for Sega's.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, pretty smart set.
I think it's actually quite a bold move from Sega as well, because the Master System didn't really do that well in Japan and North America. However, it did very, very well in Europe, Australia and Brazil. So it did well in those three zones, and it was actually selling extremely well till the very end of its production life. Now, as you can see here, yeah, you've got sort of vehicle-based level, which makes the game crushingly difficult.
Yes.
We're going to get nowhere near this level. In fact, chances are I anticipate I'm going to die once I get into the water. But that's right. That happens in Mario all the time, so we can get away with it. Plumber can't swim, Alex Kidd can. So there you have it. So, personally, I think from the get-go, you can see that this is technically a superior game to a lot of stuff that is on Nintendo and Sega. It's a controversial decision on my behalf to say this, but I feel the Master System, software-wise, was far more accomplished than the NES.
Yeah.
There's a motorbike there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's like an element of Enduro Racer in there if you're a Master System fan.
I'm getting a bit excited, mate. Do you want to...
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, let's see what this game's like.
Right, okay, so he's eating a hamburger here in the main part of the level. Now, in the original cartridge release, he was eating something else. Do you know what that was?
No?
No, that was onigiri, it's called. I had to look at my book there to actually pronounce that right. Onigiri in the original cartridge release.
Okay, what was that?
God knows. Some sort of maybe Japanese food?
Okay.
Tofu, maybe? Who knows?
I know it's... Yeah, we're right to thinking that he is actually a kid, because he kind of looks like a monkey to me.
Yeah. He's got a certain element of Doug McClure to him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, unlike the Mario games, you're actually attacking the levels horizontally sometimes, whereas with Mario, you're actually vertically.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. This is not good. This is not good.
I think he's gone.
Oh no.
That's what happens when he catches you.
He will kill you instantly.
Instantly?
Yeah.
Ooh.
As you can see, that it's already got quite difficult, and this is just the first level of the game.
Yeah.
I think this didn't help the chances for the Master System really, because accessible software, as we know in today's market, is something that's key to a console release.
Yeah.
So, right, we've transversed into the water here. Now, this is where it starts to differentiate itself from Mario. It's going for a totally different outlook.
Can these little guppy fish kill you?
Yes, pretty much anything can kill you here.
I expect a big frog, man.
The frog, yeah. Like that, he can kill you.
Oh.
I don't really know why he's wearing a sharp suit in the water, to be honest. I don't get his game. Right, so in theory...
I guess you just have to dodge him.
Yeah. Again, see how
Wow.
crushingly difficult this game is.
Soul crushing, I would say.
Yeah. Again,
Just like that.
that's probably all my lives gone, I think. Yeah.
Shame. But yeah, as you can see, very hard game.
Yeah. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to give it another shot just to munching on his hamburger again. He's happy. I'm not. That was an absolutely mediocre performance from me there.
Quite a nice place to live, just all these bags of money laying about.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in like little star boxes as well.
Yeah.
Now this game was actually, I think there were 5 games in this series.
Alright.
I think you had in Shinobi World, you had
Yeah.
Enchanted Castle, which came out on the Mega Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what the other ones were. High Tech Land, maybe? High Tech World?
I'd say some kind of racing one.
No, I don't think there was a racing one. Can't duck and punch. That would just
No.
be stupid, wouldn't it? I'm not even going to bother with that.
No.
I'm not greedy. Nor am I going to jump on that again. It's very easy to overshoot the walking mechanism on it to the point where you are straight into the enemy's clutches.
Mm. What's the storyline to this? Because I'm a bit confused, really.
There's a protagonist in the game, and he's called Janken the Great.
Okay.
And basically just a bad man.
Just a bad man, yeah.
He's a bad man.
Yeah. So what about here? If he goes back to his family, oh, what do you do today? Oh, you know, I just walk about, punch a seagull in the face, put some fish out my way, collect some money.
It's a good turd on a grave. No, but he forces you to play paper, rock, scissors, which, you know, you either like that game or you don't.
Or if we're going to get you.
Yeah, I know. And he fires out projectiles as well. He's not even a boss. Oh, for Pete's sake. As you can see, I'm having a few difficulties playing this game.
Yes. Wouldn't it be best going up? Because he doesn't go that high.
You can't get any of the blocks there.
Oh.
As you can see, this game, I'm not playing it again, you can see this game doesn't really want you to progress any further. The Mega Drive version of Enchanted Castle is actually far more fair than this game, and you can progress a lot further in it. I don't know whether subsequent Alex Kidd releases were slightly more lenient on fun, but this one certainly doesn't really like you. It
No.
hates you, if anything. Hates you for buying Master System.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you're not quite keen on it now.
I think I picked the wrong choice. I think
Yeah.
Sonic probably was the better game to have built into my Master System. Maybe that's why I don't have many games for my Master System. Tell me a little bit more about the Master System hardware if you've got anything for me. Do you have any factoids? Like when it was discontinued, maybe?
Yeah, well, this was discontinued in 1990
What, in North America?
in North America, yeah.
Right, and then in other regions, what, 90, I presume 96 when Sega phased out the Mega CD, the Mega
That's
Drive,
right, yeah, yeah.
32X, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, to concentrate on Saturn at the time.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about the Master System is in Brazil, they were still creating variations of the console officially, till probably to this day, I think. Yeah, Tectoy releasing various on-chip Master System consoles I mean, I don't think you've had a Master System console that can take the physical cartridges for a good number of years. I think maybe that's since about 1997, 1998. But they had on-chip versions, which were Master System 3 and Super Master System and things like that, which are extremely rare pieces of hardware.
Yeah.
But I digress, because we're talking about this game at the minute. This is probably the most well-known in the Alex Kidd series. There's a massive chance that anyone that's ever heard of Alex Kidd would have played this game before. As I said, it's been built into many a Master System console, making the subsequent cartridge version extremely hard to get hold of and very, very, very rare.
Yes.
As you can see, we don't have a physical version of the game here that we can show you. One thing, again, the reason why this game hates you is it doesn't have a save or a password feature, so when you die and it's game over, you're back to the beginning again.
Yeah, it's actually game over.
Yeah, as you can see, my difficulties getting past the first level there, being relatively green, playing it again after all this time, it wasn't great fun for me there, I've got to say.
No?
No, it wasn't. I remember it more fondly than this.
Yeah, I think you do when you're at that age. It's one of those games you just have to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing until you're so used to it you can actually go further than the first level. Which is a little bit annoying.
One thing that's worth touching on here is the fact that the name is Alex Kidd and not Alex the Kid, which is a common misconception.
Yeah.
Many an uneducated pleb would say Alex the Kid, but it's not. He's Alex Kidd, that's his name.
Like I said, I don't think he is a kid. To me, he looks like a monkey.
He does kind of look like a monkey, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He can breathe underwater for a hell of a long time as well.
He can, yeah. It's quite extraordinary.
So this is pretty much a single player experience, no multiplayer ability in it, which is where Mario captures the day a little bit there.
Yeah, it does.
Being able to play as Mario and Luigi. 17 levels, so it's quite a big game. Don't bother because you're probably not going to get past the first level. Maybe you will. Maybe you're good at Alex Kidd. Maybe that's your niche, that you are good Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I'm not. My niche, I'm yet to find. So, pretty much not good at any game, but that's just me.
It's alright, mate. We'll find you a game. We'll find you a game.
It's not alright, is it? It's not alright. Thanks. It's getting a bit tense there, thanks. So, as I touched on there, the Master System is, on paper, more technically advanced than the NES. Now, the NES won the day through its marketing strategy in North America and in Japan. And you're right, I think the Master System was pretty much discontinued and dead by 1991.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Master System games in North America are extremely hard to get hold of, and often are imported from Europe and PAL regions. This game actually surprisingly got a critical acclaim.
Yeah?
Yeah, it did. It scored 95% in Sega Power. I think CVG gave it 86%. So that's pretty good scores for a middle-of-the-road title that not really a mass of people remember. So, yeah, I think that's good in itself. Well done.
Well done,
to it. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously good enough to spawn multiple sequels.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hope they're all slightly more fair than this, because I was frustrated. Really frustrated there. If I was a kid back in, summer '90, I would probably be quite pink and cross, bursting a blood vessel or two playing this.
The old vein coming up your forehead.
That's it. Maybe that's why this is a Mega Drive controller, not Master System, when it probably got chucked against
It
the wall.
probably did.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an iconic game. Everybody knows Alex Kidd. Everybody from our generation has definitely played it, for sure. But yeah, just seeing you play it is quite strong. I'm not even going to tempt myself.
It is featured on the 2012 Sega Vintage Collection, which came out on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. So if you don't have Master System hardware and you are so desperate to play this because you hate yourself, then you can seek it in the Vintage Collection. I personally wouldn't, if I were you, because I felt a grey hair just pop out of my head then. Felt it. Right there. So, I mean, let's face facts. I said that I was frog dodging Forbes London in the first part of this episode. I wasn't.
You definitely
couldn't dodge him at all. I wouldn't even get past him, though. Crikey.
No. But as Ford said before, it's actually very, very rare. I mean, if you're lucky, you might be able to pick one up for like 50 quid.
£50?
Yeah.
£50 to doubt your gaming ability?
Yeah. Yeah. Usually go for about 70, so 50 is a pretty good price. If you really want it. Or seek out the Master System version and have it built in. It's probably your best bet.
Yeah, which a Master System console these days is going to cost you about 15 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not really too much of a drama if you don't get Sonic built onto your console.
Yeah.
At least aim to get Sonic though. Now,
but don't let us put you off the system. There's plenty more good games that came on it. Sonic, as you've already said. Things like Lion King, everything like that. Lion King was quite hard.
Yeah, well, yeah, all those sort of platforms were then, weren't they?
Yeah,
They had
it
to be
was.
because for continuity, if you keep you playing it, you'd have to keep coming back to it because they're comparatively short games, weren't they?
Yeah.
But the Master System, as you touched on there, had plenty of brilliant Disney licensed games on it.
Yeah.
Lots of good platformers: Castle of Illusion, Land of Illusion, Tasmania, Lucky Dime Caper. Some fantastic games, real solid experiences in the Master System. I feel really bad that our first episode is actually, ironically, our first grumpy episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this game here, I feel that is not worth seeking out, really. Certainly not worth getting on a cartridge,
No.
because it's it's one of the hardest platformers I've ever played.
Yeah.
Was a game called SQRXZ, I think it was called. Now, I think it started off as an old Amiga game, and some talented guys ported it over to various other systems, and I played the Dreamcast port of it. And me and my friend Scott, we would sit and play it because it was so hilariously hard. We would challenge ourselves, see how far we could get in the game. And this game would require precision timing on how you could get through the levels and get all the collectibles to open the door at the end. This, on the other hand, is a proper commercial release built into a console to sell the console. Now, all I can really see is that if you were a kid back then, you would sell the console. Think about it, this one's broken. I can't get past first level.
Yeah.
What's happening is it keep crashing. No, I just can't play it.
It's physically
I just can't get past it at all. And the thing is this game would taunt you anyway. If you bought a slightly tired Master System console, you put your cartridge in, say you bought your lovely copy of Lion King or Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos or Action Fighter or Enduro Racer, any of these brilliant games, and you plop that cartridge in there, turn the power button on, and it boots to this, giving you all those memories of how badly you suck at Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I just don't think... I think I'll be reaching for the razor blades.
My short time with the Master System, every time I tried to put the game in, it would load to the built-in game.
Mm.
That was lovely. That's the game you chose, clearly.
Absolutely. Do we really like the Master System? I'm not sure whether we do.
I don't know, it's gone put me off now.
Yeah.
I think memories are starting to come back about it. Yeah. I didn't have mine long, it didn't last long, unfortunately.
I've owned that machine since 2001.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was my very first Master System. That's when I first got into I paid £4 for that console.
Mm.
Yeah. So
I looked inside mine.
into its soul.
Into its
Why
soul.
you like this? I don't blame you.
I'll tell you what, let's do our reviews on this one then.
Okay.
Let's go straight into that.
Right. We're going to start with graphically.
Graphics, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, it's quite colourful. 80s game. All the colours are right. Blue sky. Water.
It's cheerful.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't really moan about that. It's not dark and dingy. You know, you can see pretty much what's going on.
Graphically, it's not terrible.
No. So what would you give that?
7.
Yeah, that's 7.
Okay. Sound-wise,
Sounds?
it's quite infectious tunes. I'm going to give that a 7.
Yeah. I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Gameplay
Mm-hmm.
gets a 3 from me.
3.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take your word for it. I'll go for 4. What was your controls like in this film?
They're responsive, but they're quite floaty at the same time. It's quite ominous. You don't really know if you're going to fall off the ledge and be able to punch quick enough to hit the enemies. So, based on that factor, I'm giving it a 4.
4. I'll take your word for it. I'll go for 4 too.
Okay.
So we're probably looking at about 5.
You're actually 6 there, and I'm a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 out of 10 for me. Purely on the side note for that is because it's so crushingly difficult.
Yep.
Because the controls are a bit waylaid. You know, they're responsive at times, and there's other times where it's very, very floaty, and the dead zone's not quite there. So yeah, that doesn't score well with me. That doesn't sit well with me.
It was I remember it being better, but it's probably because there wasn't that many games out at the time. Obviously, when the Mega Drive came into my world, I forgot anything that was before then, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, that's where this wins today, because graphically it could pass as a very, very early Mega Drive game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Master System is powerful enough to have convincing cartoon graphics. So I went to let it off there. But in any other stake, definitely not.
No.
No.
So it looks like it's a thumbs down for this game, unfortunately.
Right, so there you have it. It's a relatively damning review of Alex Kidd in Miracle World. We didn't really like it that much, and subsequently it's become our first, well, foray into grumpy retro gaming,
Yeah.
at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you touched on the value of the cartridge there, it's expensive. Is it worth it? No, it's not.
No.
Definitely not. If you've got it built into your Master System, play it for a bit, enjoy it, enjoy the fact that you hate yourself. So, yeah, there's that. So, as you can see, we've panned close to us, which can only mean one thing. It's the part of the show that everyone looks forward to. Well, most people. Maybe you, maybe not you. So, it's a shout-outs.
It is, yes. As you're watching YouTube, we'll give a shout out to the YouTube channels to subscribe to. Let's go for Ladcast first, Last Moment Victory, Spike Project, and of course Mikey Hay. Always enjoy their videos. If you haven't seen them, give them a watch.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, some entertaining stuff to be had on all those channels.
Mm-hmm.
And real world shout-outs, John Robson, as per usual. Bob Phillips, if you're catching any of these episodes, might be of your era, Bob, you never know, you might have played a Master System at some point in your life, maybe. And I suppose professional shout-outs, I suppose we'll start with the Tech Outlet, Aaron Johnson, Brad Parker. Brilliant retro games to be had in these stores around Plymouth.
Yeah,
Who else we got?
No, it's plenty of markets,
Yeah.
inside and out.
Yeah, they're looking to change stores very soon, so if you're in the Plymouth area, they'll be on the outside of the Panny Market in a bigger store. Downstairs selling the games, upstairs selling cards and stuff. So
Nice, nice.
yeah, lots of cool items to be had.
Mm.